one. Good morning, Power Hitters. Happy Tuesday. Part of our weekly team training series. Today we're going to be covering pipeline review and the amazing Paul Leone, someone I looked up to in the industry 6-7 years ago when I was first getting started, is going to be training us today. So we're all honored to work with him, alongside from him, hear what he has to say. So we can move forward here. So you basically pipeline review, moving jobs forward, stages of a solar deal, get some little funny stuff thrown into. And we're going to go ahead and start off like we always do with some success stories. Call on one or two of you guys, see what we're doing well out there, get a little background onto that success. So Paul, I'd love to start with you. A recent success story, a win, something you felt good about. How did you get it?
You know, it was awesome. I did a job up in Apple Valley, which is in Southern California. It was 11 kilowatts. I'll make about $4,500 on it. Ooh. They shopped with 5 or 6 other companies. We were second in price, but the solar insure and the value that adds just way put it over the top. And they were referred by a referral who was referred by another referral who was referred by another referral. So they also trusted me a little bit more because I've done solar for several of their friends and stuff like that. So it's cool because our price point's really great. And like making $4,500 on a job, I see some of the crazy commission numbers that go on, but like that's way more than you'd make on a Sunrun job or Tesla or my old partners, and still be really well priced. It was really cool.
That's awesome. How long have you been doing solar now?
September of 2009 is when I started.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been a minute.
Super cool.
Good times, brother.
Yeah. Anybody else? Cynthia, Brent, Anthony, Bonilla, anyone want to share a quick success story?
Yeah, I'll share one. Brent and I have an install today, and these homeowners we sat with and we really love them, and they had a hard time choosing between who they were shopping for. Ultimately, they went with someone else, and we didn't just stop there. They already had a contract signed. They were ready to go. They said thank you, but no thank you already. And we reached out one more time and just dug a little deeper and asked, what is it about them that, made you go with them, and reevaluated their contract and ultimately won the deal back. And so we're installing on their home today. So yeah, I would just say anyone out there listening, when someone says no, thank you, just ask why. And you might find many times they just misunderstood something. Maybe you left something out. Maybe we threw out a red flag that isn't really valid. Ultimately, our deal was better than theirs. So yeah.
What, why did they switch?
They had been sold on a lease. And so they were comparing a lease price, which in their mind, they thought it was purchasing. The other sales rep presented it like a purchase. And so it was cheaper because it was a prepaid lease. But ours was only a couple $1,000s more expensive at an actual purchase.
Wow.
Yeah. Some great takeaways there. Follow up is huge. Don't stop following up, even if they've said they moved on. And really digging in. I had someone tell me no recently, and I asked why, and then they said, oh, because I saw this Tesla thing or something. And then I just kept at it. So
they
awesome
called Tesla,
job.
and Tesla didn't call them back for like 4 months.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll do this for you now.
Anybody else? One more success story win that they had recently?
I could share one.
Yeah.
So, as y'all know, I do a lot of social media, and I reach out to a lot of people. They reach out. I've been trying to do it more organically lately. So through Clubhouse, I was able to get 3 ambassadors. Wow. One person's going to join. I got a call center to join under me, and I'll be doing their closings and teaching them how to close. Wow. And so just keep doing the work. I've been working with that call center since October, and he reached out yesterday and was like, hey, send me your link to get started. So don't give up on your recruits either, guys.
Yeah, love that. Good job, Lily.
That's super awesome.
She's blowing it up on Facebook, social media, this Clubhouse app. Like, we went to a San Diego event, and half the room knew her name, Solar Lily. So keep doing that good stuff, getting your name out there, and you just get recruits and you get ambassadors and all that good stuff. So
Way to go, Lil.
all right, Paul. Well, let's keep moving it on here. Paul doesn't need much introduction, guys. He's been in the industry a long, long time. One of the smartest guys I know. He wrestles for fun, jiu-jitsu. He'll kick your butt, and he's amazing. So Solar Ninja, Paul, let's go. Glad to have you.
Well, thanks for the overinflated words, man. I'm sorry, my dog's tripping in the back. Hold on. Hey. Oh, shit. Sorry, guys.
No worries.
Hold on, I'm like in kind of embarrassed right now. I should have taken care of that.
Fido, relax. His ninja skills can't quite a dog at the moment.
All right. Sorry, everybody.
No.
All right. So thanks, Jonathan. That's real nice stuff that you said right there. It's not all true, but I appreciate it. Goddamn dog. So one of the things that I've seen the most complaints on the Powur Pioneers site. God, hold on, guys. I'm real sorry. Give me just 1 second, dude. I'm
All good.
Hold on.
I'll jump in for a second here. How do I remove?
That dog's been here for like 2 days, so it doesn't listen all that good. All right.
You're good.
So anyways, one of the main things that I've seen people complain about at Powur, and this is common in the industry, and whenever I put stuff on our Powur Pioneer page, I always try to highlight, if you guys are having issues with stuff, this is stuff that's very common at other solar companies as well. At Powur, a lot of us are new to solar, so we haven't done it before, and we run into issues, and we're like, it's so frustrating. This stuff happens everywhere. It's not just a Powur thing. But part of what will happen and what drives me crazy is when people say, hey, I was expecting this to be done a month ago and it still hasn't been done yet, is just staying on top of your pipeline and managing your pipeline. So there's some tips that I've kind of learned along the way. Jonathan has helped out a lot. Charles has helped out a lot. And the meetings that we've had have cleared some up stuff. What I wanted to kind of review is why pipeline management's important. After doing this for 11 years, to go over here for just a second. So I've done solar for over 1,100 families now. Over half of those at least are referral. And all my business now is referral. And part of the reason is that I'm a dog about pipeline management and staying on top of everything. So happy customers equal referrals and easy money. And even when referrals shop, a lot of times they'll stay with you because they trust you, because their friends used you and their friends were really happy about that. Number two, when you stay on top of your pipeline, you don't have to pull your hair out as much. So as you saw in that other picture, here, I used to have hair, but working at Tesla and Sunrun, like it's super stressful. So my hair's all gone now. So I'm trying to help you guys avoid all that same stuff. Brent Slover, I'm sorry, buddy, it's too late for you. Because I think you don't have any hair. But Brunasso, your hair's looking good, buddy.
Thanks. For sure. Lorenzo has the best hair out of the whole.
Lorenzo does have good hair.
Yeah.
And number three, show me the money. For anybody that's seen Jerry Maguire back in the day, again, you get paid when your jobs get installed, and you get more referrals when you get your jobs installed. So that's why you want to stay on top of all this stuff. So I do a couple of things before you open your job or right when you sell it. That's always really important. If anybody's taken a screenshot, this would be an important page to screenshot or to pay attention to after the fact when JB puts this up. Set proper expectations for your customers. Solar has so many parts involved. There's us, there's the installer, there's an electrician sometimes that does the panel upgrade, there's cities, there's engineers, there's all kinds of steps, there's utilities. So make sure that you don't tell them we're going to get it installed right away, and that you kind of lay out some expectations based on a couple slides from now. And COVID is probably the greatest excuse in solar we've ever had. You can always just say, hey, there's this thing called COVID. It's going to take 2 to 3 months. It is what it is. Make sure that you submit clean files So make sure your electric bills are there, you're signing confirmation for your email, for your loan docs. A lot of times I get asked for driver's licenses. And very, very important, make sure you put clear job notes in there. So when you're opening up your job in powur.com, you can go on and create new tickets. Be very clear, put new job notes. This is what the customer is expecting, blah, blah, blah. And make sure that you communicate that clearly to your project manager or who's going to be doing it for you. And then if you have a design, make sure to upload that as well. All right. This is the other most important time page or page that we have in the slide deck here. So this is kind of what JB and Charles really walked me through. And I live on this on every single one of my jobs, how long something should take. And if it takes longer than this, normally something's wrong or someone's not doing something. I saw on the Pioneer page just the other day where someone said they didn't get this email about the contract being processed. And it was like 60 days later. And he's like, I haven't got that email yet. I'm super pissed off at everybody. And really, he was the problem. If you don't get that email within 2 to 3 days, something is wrong and you need to follow up with your project coordinator to get that. Once that's done, your site survey should be scheduled 3 to 5 days from getting that email. Normally, at least in the California area, that's done within about a week from the day they set it up. After that is done, building layout, you should get it within 7 to 10 days for your customer approval. I start following up on day number 6. I message the project coordinator. They have 24 hours to respond. If I don't hear back from them, I follow up one more time the next day, and then I'll normally send them an email or try to give them a phone call. Following up is very important. We always have to remember that nobody cares as much about my money as I do. And so you gotta be on top of your stuff. You can't put it off on other people because they don't care about your money as much as we do. And that's in any company that you work with. Once the layout has been approved by your customer, normally they have to get final building plans, which are normally engineered plans. And those plans normally take about 5 to 8 days once your customer has approved it. Now, what I've seen a couple times, somewhere something gets lost right here and your customer will approve it, but your PC doesn't see it or the contractor doesn't see it. Once you receive customer approval, you need to make sure that the PC communicates that, and you need to go in and put a ticket in and say, customer approved the job or approved the layout. And then obviously, if there's any issues or panel upgrades or things like that, try to fix that stuff right away because time kills jobs. And so when you see stuff like that, try to address it quick. After that, it gets submitted for your building permit. That should take anywhere from 2 weeks to maybe 60 days. Or if you're in Southern California and you do a job in Rialto, it can take 4 months, which sucks. I sold a couple jobs in June that just got installed because Rialto sucks. Once that's done and we get the building permit, normally your installation will be scheduled 1 or 2 weeks from that time. Once we get the permit, normally your installation will be scheduled within a couple days, and that scheduled date will be 1 to 2 weeks from that time frame. Once that's done, remember, the job's not done once it's installed. We have to get our final inspection. So once you know that the installation's been done, I always follow up with my PC. Hey, can we get an inspection date? Let us know what the status is. And after the inspection is done, you get permission to operate, which is specific to the utility, but most of them are taking 1 to 2 weeks right now. Jonathan, have you seen anything different in Edison or SDG&E or PG&E?
Yeah, I always say within a week or two. I think the end of the year was a tad longer, but just making sure, seeing the note from the PM, checking in with them, like what's the update on PTO is always something I like to do.
Yeah, and again, and this is a little bit of a weakness I've seen at Powur, is once the installation is done, sometimes it falls off the radar because they got so many other installations they're trying to get scheduled. So I try to follow up on PTO like a dog every couple days to make sure that that stuff is getting done. And again, to be fair, this is common at most solar companies that you work at. Most companies, they get paid after install, not PTO. So at Tesla, at Sunrun, sometimes PTO was taking a month or two, or SolarMax, because we've already got paid. That's why you need to help provide a good service experience and make sure that you follow up on this for your customers. And that's at Powur, that would be at a Freedom or whoever that you do some work with. So if anybody wants to take a picture of this page to kind of know what your expected timeframes are, go ahead and do that, or it'll be in the slide deck later on that Jonathan has up there. Does anybody have any questions? I don't know if can they unmute themselves, JB?
Yeah, they should be able to. I'm watching the chat bar too, and Danny, thank you for the word project manager is the new term now, PM. And
Okay.
then Lily just said times kills jobs, miscommunication kills jobs. Stay in touch, build relationships, keep the homeowner, keep everyone updated, and ask for referrals.
Yeah, all that stuff is absolutely great. And what we should have put on here is once we get PTO and get it turned on, we really need to make a focus as a company at getting Yelp reviews or more reviews as well. And part of happy customers comes from that process being adhered to, and part of that comes from setting proper expectations right up front with everything. So if these timelines ever get out of control, and I see you putting something on Powur Pioneers saying, hey, I haven't got that email and it's been 3 months, always remember, it's all your fault. Not all the time, but most of the time it is. I don't know if anybody's seen Good Will Hunting, but he says it's not your fault. Well, right here, it is your fault if that happens. So anyways, so what I normally do is I try to follow up with my PM a day or two before the timeframes, especially with the building plans and installation timeframes and stuff like that. That way it's kind of on their radar. So like I brought up earlier, that open job confirmation email, it's always important to remember nothing at all happens until you get that email. And a lot of times if you sign a job on Saturday, you'll get the email on Sunday or Monday. Make sure 100% that you get that email that I apparently closed already. So I got to go back. That you get the email saying that it's been processed and now it's on for the site survey, and they'll receive their phone call. Oh, there it is. So that's the email. Make sure that you get that on every single job. Another important thing, and this is partially accountability for the PMs and our contractors, but so we have a visual record of everything. Do your best to get dates entered in a Powur.com. So when was the survey scheduled or the audit? When are we expecting the building layout? When have we submitted the permit? And what's the permit number? Anytime one of our contractors submits a permit, you should have a permit number. The reason I bring this up is because I've been bit in the butt a couple times by nobody actually submitting the permit, and it just sat there for sometimes a couple weeks, and I found out that that was my fault because I never followed up on it. One thing that we can do if you want, and this is a little over the top, but it's been useful for me. Hold on, let me get to the right screen here. Where'd that go? Well, hold on. So if you have a job and it's getting submitted for permit and you want to stay on top of it, some cities, like probably maybe half or 3/4 of them, have some kind of online system that helps you track permits. You can see permit numbers when it's been issued, if there's any issues with it. So for example, with Rancho Cucamonga, If you go here, you can click here, and yes, we are. If you click here, it will pop up to search for your permits. And so I had one here. Whoops.
On the Highland.
Oh, I spelled,
There
thank you.
go.
Yeah, I spelled that wrong. All right, and so this was my customer right here. Now, I was also able to confirm by having this information that we installed the system without having the permit first, because the permit was never approved, which was the wrong answer. Our friends at TAC Electric, right, Cynthia? Yeah, and this was just a recent one. But anyhow, a lot of cities will have something like that. I'll get the permit number and all that stuff and throw it in powur.com. This also helps me make sure that it's working. And there's been a couple times where I found that the permit was already done and nobody on our end knew about it. And maybe 4 or 5 days had gone by. So I encourage everybody to try to stay on top of your projects, and that's part of what you can do. Try to get your install date, your inspection date, and your PTO submission date, and all that good stuff. And then you can always reference it back to your customers. And again, if something falls out of the timeline, you can make sure to follow up on that diligently and make sure that your jobs are getting moved through. So I put see it to believe it, because once the dates are in the system, you know that it's being done. That's important stuff.
I'll just add to Paul, all great stuff. The milestones tab does have some more visibility now, some automated Podio visibility. It's going to have some time frames in there as well. So always check those project manager notes there in the milestones tabs. That may not have been communicated as a ticket, and then follow the steps that Paul's talking about. And then if you need to, obviously leave a note for the project manager. And if a day or two goes by, you can always call or text that manager as well. One quick question from Lorenzo. Throughout the entire project, how many times are you touching base with your customers, Paul?
Probably once or twice a week.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, I'm always up with them and trying to stay on top of it. And I send out a lot of, because I have close to 1,000 emails from my customers. So I try to send out an email maybe once or every 2 weeks to everybody. Just, hey, remember me? And hey, this cool thing happened. Or, you know, hey, we got the ITC extended. That's really cool. Stuff like that. So whether it's specifically for their job or just a customer touch, I try to a couple times a week when they're in the process right now.
Awesome, thanks.
Yeah, good question, buddy. And JB's right. A lot of times this stuff is in milestones. And if it's not in milestones, that's when you really need to reach out and create a ticket. But before we create the ticket, we should always look in the milestones page. And that's a good stuff. A lot of the times, I don't know if you guys get those automated emails that go to the customer. You know, we'll be installing their job and they'll get an email that says, hey, congratulations, we submitted your permit, or something like that. So that's where you want to check for that stuff. And just real quick, as far as after closing, because this is all part of it. And again, a lot of people, it kind of drops off the radar once install is done, once PTO is issued. We have to make sure that our customers have their online account set up. The company line is that should be about 1 to 2 weeks after PTO is done. So on that side, once you get PTO, you can check in the milestones first, but email your PM, make sure that the website has been set up, confirm with them. In fact, I was just told the other day by Jennifer Brantley that they are supposed to be doing this on every single job, but it's not happening all the time just because everybody's busy. Confirm with the PC that they've seen the power production and that the system is working. There's been quite a few times where someone hasn't flipped something, or if you're using Solar Edge, they can't actually activate the system at the house. They got to do it later after the fact via computer. So make sure that your PC has seen the power production, and then follow up with your customer and make sure that they've received their login information, which our PM sends, PC PM sends to them. And if you're comfortable with it, you can ask your customer to send you their login info, and you can go on and walk them through the website and make sure it's working. And SolarEdge doesn't let you do this, but Enphase lets you do this. So if you log into their Enphase account, like here, oh, maybe like here, hold on. So this is one of my, that was one of my customers' Enphase accounts. If you get in here for them, so this is showing their production for the month, but more importantly, over here, the little hamburger menu, if you go to settings and account, you can go in there for them and make sure that these buttons right here are pushed. Send me monthly system performance summaries and notify me about system production or service related issues. So that way the customer knows if there's an issue with the system. And then that way they can call you or customer care and make sure that we're getting there to fix stuff. I do Enphase on every job now I can, unless there's a battery. SolarEdge, we have to do this part. And it's with any company, this part's a little like pulling teeth to get it done. But if you use Enphase, we can set it up for them in their account to make sure that that stuff's all done and they're getting alerts pushed out if there's a problem with it.
Wow.
Plus it's cool. And again, it's a point to go in with them and show them how it's working. You can do a quick Zoom. And again, hey, this would be cool for your friends to see, right? You know, just copy that and put it on Facebook or something like that. And you can get some referrals that way as well. And I think that is about it, Brunasso.
Wow.
There you go, man.
Cool, Paul.
That's a lot of stuff for 15 minutes. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that was great. So I'll just touch on one or two things here, and then we can go to Q&A. But I mean, man, one of my takeaways is obviously you're integrity, ethical guy. You don't gouge on the margin. You give a fair price, and you always go a few steps above and beyond. I think probably everyone on here is like, wow, Paul's doing 5 extra steps that I'm not even doing or thinking about. Going into the Enphase account, asking for their logins. I did that recently once for the first time, and helping them go through that and touching the clients and existing clients that you already have as well. I need to up my game on that. So
yeah, if we could, because you're the big baller here, bro, if you could get powur.com to do some reports where you can like download stuff into Excel easily, that'd be really cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm harping on that. I would love a follow-up date and some better exporting to handle that for sure. So I think the only thing I'll add, there is general project timelines. Paul pretty much nailed it on the head. The different 14 days site survey to permit or designs done, 21 days ideally when we can get a permit back, but every AHJ is differently. And inspection, PTO, system energized generally takes 1 to 4 weeks there after the installation is complete. So, and then lastly, I am seeing, I know we've all had some struggles here, like at any company, but the project managers, we're getting better ones, solar experience. You could call them, text them. They're being held to a 1 to 2 day response time, which is fantastic. And I'm seeing some better installers out there, you know, Penguin, Heno, TAC, Solar Discount Group. So better relationships, better communication will really make this platform, I think, the best in the country, the best in solar. So I'm pretty excited. A few announcements before we move to Q&A. Obviously, you all know the tax credit was extended 26% till the end of 2022. Woo woo. Yeah, that's great news for us in the industry. And this administration, I think, is just going to take solar to the next level for the next 4, 5, 10 years. I am really excited about the national convention, February 19th and 20th. I did get my VIP ticket. There's about half sold out on that. And scaleup.solar. Just going to dedicate 2 days there to invest in ourselves, education, hear from some authors and speakers and all that great stuff. So sign up for that if you haven't. January is a little bit cheaper if you wait until February. And then next week, our weekly trainings continue on Tuesday. End phase on January 19th. I believe it is Spencer. He's going to jump on and give us a private training. So bring your questions. We'll cover the IQ7 Plus versus the IQ7s. He'll give us a little info on a battery that we're going to be getting pretty soon with them. So I absolutely love Enphase like Paul. I use them on most every single deal. The 26th still to be determined there. If anyone has any ideas or topics or training they'd like, please let me know. And then on February 2nd, we'll get a little training from Sonova as well. So a lot of good stuff coming. And last night, if you weren't on the 5 o'clock business opportunity call, we recorded a great asset. It's on YouTube for realtors. So part of my success is being able to have realtors under me like Marisa and Bobby Rye and very successful realtors that use you as a mentor or get your passive income, or maybe they start selling themselves. So share that valuable YouTube asset with anyone in the real estate industry looking to make some side hustle, some side income, and join Powur. At the very least, you'll get the ambassador program if they don't want to join Powur. So with that, Paul, thank you for this valuable training.
Thanks for your time, brother.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and jump to some Q&A.